I lost that grace of being part of the community, of being really to be part of civilization.
People sometimes assume that every person that's homeless is either a drug addict or crazy or not wanting to help themselves, or that they don't have feelings, but they do.
For every housing levy dollar we spend in Seattle, we're able to leverage $4 for other sources. And so this is really an economic development tool as well, because it enables us to bring a significant investment back into the community.
People must improve themselves. They have to, when you get money, you have to make it program with your money.
I'm sure that many people in downtown don't realize that that beautiful brick building next door to them has people who were formerly chronically mentally ill homeless people on the streets.
All they need is the opportunity, and then they'll get the self-esteem. They'll realize that they can do this.
Most of the housing that's being developed for homeless individuals and families in the city of Seattle is a model called supportive housing. Now, supportive housing is housing plus services that is both cost-effective and it's also successful. This is a model that's being done nationwide, and the reason for that is because nationwide studies have shown that when you provide just services such as mental health counseling or alcohol and drug abuse counseling or employment services for homeless individuals or families, but you don't provide housing, then the services just don't work. And so we spend a lot of money and we don't get the results that we're looking for. But studies have shown that when you provide permanent housing for these individuals, the services are very successful because people are stabilized.
I think the supported housing model is the best one. The people we have in downtown are suffering from chronic conditions, mental illness, drug and alcohol addiction, and they need housing with case management and support so that they can stay sober and on their medicine and, you know, potentially even get jobs, but they need supported housing.
They don't get to shower when they feel like it. They don't get a hot meal when they need it. They're cold. They're not all just addicts and alcoholics. There's a lot more to it than that often. Maybe they're a little unusual. Maybe they're not quite like what we consider the norm or something. But that doesn't make them bad, and it certainly doesn't make them any less of a human being.
They are real people. They are real individuals, and they all have gifts, and these gifts are just waiting to be developed. The way these gifts can be developed, I believe, is through permanent housing.
My mom and my dad were both strung out really bad, and my mom would get through her points where she would say, oh, I want to clean up, I want to clean up, I want to get my kids back. And then she would take us for a couple of days, and then we'd lose everything because she would go back to using, and then my grandma would have to take us back, and then we'd go back and forth between them. My step-grandpa started molesting me when she was in the hospital dying of cancer. And then when my grandma died, it was kind of like everyone just kind of went their own ways. I've been on my own since I was like 15, 16. But off and on, back and forth through home until I was 18, and then I've been on my own since I was 18. I lost so much stuff when I was homeless, like clothes, my glasses. It meant a lot to me at the time because I didn't really have anything. As far as like the deposit goes, when I first moved in here, they were able to put that over a course of like 5 months, which any other apartment place wouldn't have done that. And it's small stuff like that that I think low-income housing people take into consideration that this person's just been homeless, so let's try to make sure that they're successful. Right now, I don't have to worry about paying $1,000 for rent. I know that it's going to be a third of my income, so I can kind of work at my own pace, and that gives me more time to focus on school.
He wasn't just one to hit. He would beat and he would threaten. I had him put a gun to my head and threaten to shoot me. I've had him pull knives on me and beat my head into the pavement. And he'd take a belt and just beat me and beat me. I reached that point where I was just, that was it. I was tired and I wanted to just pass on. And giving up. I was just totally out of it. Coming from the hospital, I went to the shelter downtown, and then I went to a transitional shelter. There I was able to stabilize. It gave me everything I needed, all the tools and all the resources to get on my feet and improve my life, get back to stability again. I've been improving ever since.
When you're homeless and you come basically off the streets from shelters or wherever, you feel very vulnerable. And what I've seen here is that you have staff and people that really reach out and care and help you to develop the skills in order to stay permanent in permanent housing.
Everyone does their share. You know, everyone takes part in different responsibilities. Taking care of the chores that need to be done. They do real well at finding the right people to move into this type of community.
God helped me, to ask them and then have shelter for my family for a short period of time. And I went and I asked, and they gave me 3 rooms, very nice rooms, and I was very happy. I improved myself. My wife, as soon as we came here, my wife get job, and I finished my school, and I also get job. And I told them that now I'm surviving, I can survive myself now.
Supportive housing is actually a very cost-effective approach to providing housing and services for individuals and families who are homeless. For example, supportive housing costs about $26 a day, and compared to, for example, a one-night stay in a hospital for somebody who has a health condition that's because they are homeless, maybe they've fallen down, they need assistance, something like that costs about $2,100 a day. A one-night stay in a mental hospital costs $555 a day, and jail costs about $87. By contrast, $26 a day is far cheaper than doing nothing, and it's the right thing to do.
And we need to be spending this money. We need to be putting it into permanent housing, because permanent housing is the answer to end homelessness permanently.
Housing for homeless people is very good for property values. Some of the projects have some of the nicest and high-end retail that we have in downtown, and it has housing for homeless people upstairs. So they're a great asset to our community.
I've lived in Belltown since 1978, up on 3rd and Blanchard, and across the street and above Continental Furniture. Just as a business owner, you're paying taxes and you're doing things that enhance the ability for people to live together in the city. And by low-income housing being provided, versus having the people out on the streets trying to shelter themselves and sleep, I'd rather deal with them in a way where that they have housing and we can all live together.
According to the National Association of Home Builders, an investment in the range of $216 million, which we've had, also brings in about 3,000 construction jobs as well. And so Seattle is quite unique, and we really have the residents to thank for their support of the housing levy.
I mean, they helped me through my divorce. They helped me go back to work, to school. I'm in therapy now, and a lot of stuff.
Before I was not paying, I was paying not more than $180 a month. But this time I'm paying $811. That's a very good standard for me.
That's what the program's all about. It's giving people that hand up. instead of a handout.
When I was on the streets for quite a while, and I had actually gotten a place, I'll never forget, crawling in a bed with 2 sheets on it. It was like I was human.